I am committed to the truth even when it is challenging, right? Even when it's challenging, or even when it might hurt someone's feelings, although that's never the intention, right?
The old business paradigm is crumbling before our eyes, and the world needs high-achieving entrepreneurs who are ready to break the mold. Welcome to the Epic AF podcast, where groundbreaking, paradigm-shifting change is the only option. If you're done with standard methods and you're ready to disrupt, then you are in the right place. I'm Kelly O'Neill, an award-winning brand strategist, visionary leader, and unapologetic entrepreneur. This podcast is more than a show. It's a hub for big thinkers, the disruptors, and those that are ready to shatter outdated expectations. Subscribe now, and let's rewrite the rules of entrepreneurship together.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Epic AF podcast. I am your host, Kelly O'Neill. And if you are here, you are likely a visionary entrepreneur or a service professional who is sick of the status quo and you are ready to shake things up and create an epic AF life on your terms, because that's what this podcast is all about. So if you are here and you've just found my podcast, what I'm going to encourage you to do is go back to episode 1, because this season, it is all sequential. I'm actually taking you guys through a guided process where you can align your life and business to be epic AF. So in our last episode, we talked about healing, right? And for some of you, that may be something that is brand new to you. You are not comfortable with. I know that even at my organization, my shaman is on retainer, and we offer weekly energetics, alignment, healing sessions. And there's a lot of people that don't go, right? Because it might just be uncomfortable. They have to, go. And even if they do go, sometimes the first couple sessions, they'll sit there and just listen. So this might be something that you need to ease into. I will tell you that I started with traditional therapy and reading self-help books. And then I went into Tony Robbins seminars and a lot of deep mindset work. And from there, when I had I wouldn't say it was the first dark night of my soul, but when life crumbled, I hit the Hoffman Institute. And then finally from there, I started working with healers. And my life has never been the same in the best of possible ways. So today, we're going to talk about something that is absolutely critical to creating an epic AF life and business. And it is something that I feel really, really, really strongly about. And that is creating a life that you're proud of and using integrity as your compass. So let's dive in. I'm going to be honest with y'all, okay? I truly do not understand how some people sleep at night. To me, living with integrity seems like the most natural way to be, right? In fact, my entire life and business is sorted to it. It's one of the reasons why I'm so good at branding, because branding is all about integrity. It's about creating alignment, right? So when I talk about integrity, I'm not just talking about being honest. I'm talking about being in alignment. Yet so many people are so out of alignment with what they claim to value. So years ago, I will tell you a story. I was married to an amazing human. My ex-husband and I, my only husband that I've ever had, we had a great marriage and we ended it because he wasn't my forever human. Greatest guy on the planet. We had the most amicable divorce ever. But I will tell you that he said something to me while we were married that really stuck with me. So I had been upset about how a friend was treating me. And he said to me, baby, you got to realize you operate at a level of integrity that I've never seen before. Most people just don't work at that level. And at the time, I heard what he had to say, but his words, it didn't hit me as hard as they would later. And even when I began to understand how deeply integrity impacts every part of a person's life, it's like, I just didn't quite get it. And he was right. Because integrity it's like not some cliche. It's not just about doing the right thing when no one's watching, although that's part of it. It's more than just honesty or upholding moral standards. Integrity is the purest form of alignment. It's the space where your values, your beliefs, and your actions meet. People with integrity are consistent, they're dependable, and they're unwavering in their principles, even when that's hard to do, even when that means speaking out against someone or something that other people have no problem with, but you do, right? They act in alignment with their highest values, and they have the courage to stay true to themselves, even when it's super uncomfortable or inconvenience. So today, we're going to talk about integrity as the foundation for epic living. So like I said, integrity at its core is alignment, right? It's alignment. You'll often see me do this. When you see me speaking about integrity, you'll see me do this. It's when you live in integrity, your values and your actions are congruent. And you're creating a foundation for trust, self-respect, and respect from others. This level of alignment, it builds the kind of trust that cannot be shaken, right? People around you know, and they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt, even if you fuck up, right? Because they know that you're always doing your best and you're looking to be noble, right? And you're looking to be in alignment with your values. Living an epic AF life means holding yourself to this standard, even when it's hard or even when others don't reciprocate. It means creating a life that you do not compromise on your values, right? Because you know you're worth honoring them. This is one of those exercises like that gets tossed around a lot in self-help circles, right? When we're about to do one now, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. And I'm talking about really identifying your values. Identifying your values isn't about just like jotting down some words in your journal and causing it a day, right? It's not like you go to some seminar and they're like, okay, we're going to write down your values. And then you're like, okay. And you write them down and then you check it in your drawer and you don't look at them again. Living an epic AF life and business and building that business demands that you define, you commit to, and you live in alignment with your values every damn day. You're going to need to hold to these values front and center because they are going to guide you. They're going to keep you grounded and they're going to set the standard for how you navigate life and business. This integrity, you guys, that I'm talking about, it's the fuel that drives all of this, okay? So to help you get started, I'm going to tell you some of my own values, right? And these are things that like I start when I do business planning with people. I start with the CEO's own personal values. And then also I have team values and I have business values, right? These are the core principles that guide my life, my work, and my relationships. So my first one, and if you've been listening to the episodes, you know, peace and love, right? I foster life grounded in inner peace, radiant love, and I nurture my relationships built on compassion and understanding, integrity and truth, right? I am all about honesty and transparency, and it's non-negotiable for me, right? I am committed to the truth even when it is challenging, right? Even when it's challenging or even when it might hurt someone's feelings, although that's never the intention, right? I will always be truthful. I will be compassionate in my truth. My friends know you don't come and ask me for my opinion if you don't want my truth, because I'm going to tell you because I love you and I want to be honest with you. And also it's part of my values. Another one is living authentically. I remember that I dated this guy and he read me some quote. And it was this should have been my red flag. Really, this moment here, it should have been the giant red flag because it came back to be the biggest giant red flag. He basically said, there's some quote, and I'm probably going to botch it right now, but he made some comment about, the real joy of life is when your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions match. And I thought to myself, he's like, that's the life I want to live. And I thought to myself in the moment, and again, like, I don't know how I know some of you are like, how did you miss that? I don't know, but I did. I missed it. And I thought to myself, well, that's weird. That's how I live every day. And he's like, really? And I was like, yeah, I'm just myself, right? I am myself. I rock how I rock. If people don't like it, like, I'm cool with that. Like, not everyone has to like my special zest of me. I'm going to tell you right now, there are people who do not like this fucking podcast and they do not like me and they're going to say all sorts of mean things about me. That's cool. Like, you do you, boo-boo. I'm going to do me. And if you don't like it, that's fine. Unsubscribe, go somewhere else, go do your own life. But I'm going to live authentically. I'm going to embrace my true self. And I encourage others to do the same thing and kind of reject those superficial expectations. It's just how I roll. And quite frankly, I'm going to tell you, it's a lot less exhausting to not have to pretend. Some other values of mine are freedom and autonomy. I value the freedom to make intentional, aligned choices, and I want to live on my own terms, and I empower others to do the same, right? I'm not going to live my life by someone else's rules. And I'm sorry if they don't like it. Like, one of the things I'll tell you right now, I have received a lot of flack in my life about swearing. I don't give a fuck. Like, that's how I talk, right? This is how and I'm not saying it for shock value. If you are in my life, you know that I swear a lot. It's just how I naturally roll. And the people around me are used to it and they love me. They either love me for it or despite it. I don't know, but it is what it is. I'm not going to do it any differently. Now, listen, of course, like when I'm around children, not my own, because I am who I am around her because I want to demonstrate that. But when I'm around other children, now I'm not running around dropping the F-bomb, but I swear that's just how it is. And I swear in life and I swear in business. In fact, I actually had, I know what it is. I had a coffee cup in a picture on my Facebook banner, and it made some comment about, what did that coffee mug say? It said something like, I don't know, but it had the word fuck in it, right? And one of my clients came to me and she said, we have a real problem. And I was like, oh God, what? And she goes, one of my team members, he's very religious and he doesn't swear, and he did some due diligence on you, and he came back and he questioned me about hiring you because you're the kind of woman that puts the F word in your marketing. And I went, oh no, what did you say? And she goes, well, I didn't know what to say. And I said, I have an idea. She goes, what? And I said, tell him that he can do him and I'm going to fucking do me. And it's okay. And if he doesn't feel comfortable with that, he can live in his discomfort. And she giggled and she goes, I didn't even think about that. I said, listen, I want to teach your team that everyone gets to do them and do it unabashedly, and that they also get to respect each other's differences. And so I'm super cool, and I'm not offended by the fact that he doesn't swear. So I don't know why he would be offended by the fact that I do, but maybe that's something he can work on. And she's just like, I think I'm going to like this. And I went, great. And she ended up being not only a great client of mine for a very long time, but also we've developed a friendship. So do you. The next one of my values is loyalty and trust. I am like a yellow lab. I am loyal, and it used to be to a fault. I would say it's less faulty now, but loyalty and trust, because relationships based on loyalty, trust, and mutual respect are paramount in my world, whether it's with my family, my friends, or colleagues. Like if I find out that someone, if I find out that someone in my business lies to me, they're gone. Right? Like I don't care how much I love them. And I don't even have to be like, they could have just made a mistake. Like I'm not going to judge them or shame them, but now I no longer trust them and they've just violated a huge boundary. And so they will no longer be employed by my company. right? Because that's just one of the standards I hold in my life and my business. If I find out that a friend of mine lies to me or a relationship that they're lying to me, I'm done. That's just one of those things for me that's a deal breaker. Joy and fulfillment, right? I love to cultivate like a joyful, meaningful life. I love to balance my drive and ambition with appreciation for kind of small, profound moments. Like I do get tickled. Like sometimes I'll just look over at my puppies and I'm like, I just love you. I love those moments. Or I'll be on the boat with my friends and I'll just be like, God, I'm so blessed. So that is one of the things that I look to cultivate in my life. And I really strive for that. And also in my business. Another one is connection and compassion. Like developing genuine, deep connection matters to me. I value relationships that enrich both life and work. And obviously, I'm sure that if this one's not obvious to you guys, continuous growth. I am a lifelong learner and I hire people that also value growth because you are going to grow at my company. People know, I tell them when I interview them at my company, like, listen, you are going to grow at a speed that is not comfortable for you. Are you up for that? The ones that last the longest are like, fuck yeah. And I'm like, great, buckle up because we're going to grow, right? We're going to grow or you're going to go. And also in my personal life, like we're growing because otherwise, like I can't be it's hard for me to be in in very close proximity, lifelong relationships with people that don't have a growth mindset because they will not be comfortable with my life and empowerment of others, right? I really value lifting other people up. Like it's really funny. Like my friends that I boat with, they're like, you are the friggin' cheerleader. Like I am all about empowering others and recognizing their potential and lifting them up. Like I don't want to tear people down. I never want to be a crab. I want to lift people up so that I can really like live in and create impact and legacy no matter what I'm doing in this world, which are also really important to me. I now consider myself to be in my legacy era. In fact, it's funny, my podcast director said, I have never seen anyone that has as much stamina as you do. And my response to him, he's like, people have never gone this hard, this long, creating podcast episodes. And the reason for it for me, and I said this, it's because it's my mission. It's my purpose. This is my legacy work. It's what I believe in and I'm passionate about it. Now, I'm sure later I'm going to go home and crash. But for today, this is the way that I live life, right? Like this is the work that I'm doing in the world and it lights me up and it makes it so that I can keep going when others would peter out. Because I'm aligned. And listen, these values for me, they're not just a list, right? They are the compass that guides me in every single thing I do, right? At Fusion Core, we also have a list of team values that reflect excellence, high performance, and alignment with the mission of each of my companies. Okay. And in each of those businesses also have their own list of values. So we have this list of Fusion Core high performance values that we literally interview by. And then also at each of my businesses, we also have a list of values that our companies stand by. And we hire by these values, we train by these values, and we operate from these values every single day. One of my leadership team in all of my companies, one of their KPIs is to instill and embody and train on the Fusion Core values. Okay. So we take these values very seriously. And the deal breakers are the breaking of the values as they are central to every single decision we make. And it is the standard to which we hold each other accountable. Okay. So one of the things that I want you to do is get into action. And I need you to discover your own core values, right? You've got to get clear about these. And this isn't some quick and superficial exercise, right? It's not about like choosing like these nice to have values, like, oh, I want to say kindness because that sounds like something that's nice to have. No, I want you to find the things that you are willing to live and die on the sword by, right? Like it matters to you. You're willing to do the hard things because they matter to you. If you're following along in the Epic AF workbook, we've got a whole exercise that is dedicated to this, right? These are the core principles that are that genuinely matter to you in your life. These are the ones that are going to make up the foundation of your life and the way that you interact within the world. So as usual, when you're doing one of these exercises, I want you to find a quiet place for reflection. And I want you to block off at least 30 minutes to go through this exercise and really elicit these values. It requires you to get honest and to really be focused, okay? And I want you to find those things that mean the world to you, that you're not willing to sacrifice for anyone or anything, okay? One of the quick ways to find out your values, I will tell you, is think about the things that royally piss you off, right? The opposition of those are your values. The reason that you got pissed off is because someone violated one of your values, right? That is super, super, super important when you know what your values are. Like, again, if someone lies to me in my business, it's a deal breaker because they just broke my values, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to live or to get clear on your values. And then I really want you to look at your life and I want you to look at the things around you. And I want you to see what is not in alignment with those values, right? And it might just be or maybe something happened with someone and you need to clear something up because it's eating up your epic space, right? Maybe someone violated a boundary with you and you didn't tell them. Here's the other thing, guys. Once you start doing this, you need to give people fair warning. You can't just all of a sudden come out a different person and not tell anyone and be like, you violated my boundaries, I'm cutting you off. I mean, I guess you can do whatever you want, but you got to reset the stage and you need to let people know. So like, let's say you had a beef with someone and you've been holding it inside and it's eating your space and it's an energetic leak. You need to go back to them and be like, listen, I did a values exercise recently and I'd love to have a really loving conversation with you because I've noticed that it's eating up. It's kind of like lingering inside and I don't want to have that relationship with you because my relationships and being authentic and being genuine are really important to me. And I want to have this conversation with you so we can clear this up and we can resolve it. Does that sound good? And let them know how they violated one of your values or one of your boundaries. You've got to be able to set the stage with people so that they know, so that you're clear and now they can be clear so that they can help you live your most epic life, okay? So integrity, again, is what's going to keep you true to these values. It's what's going to help you have that epic life, right? It's what's going to help you to live epic, all right? So I want you to think about that, and I want you to think about the things that you got out of this episode, right? Where are the place, and don't even judge it. Again, judge it. Do not worry about judging anything. If you've been doing stuff that's out of alignment, be like, all right, well, now you know better, so you can do better, and go back and clean it up. So I want you to think about that, and I want you to get your values done. And until next time, live happy and live epic. See you next episode.